Hi, my name is CJ Cote, and I'm one of two family liaison officer working at the PMFRC, but embedded into the transition center.
And my name is Alyssa CJ, and I am one of the family liaison officers at the Petawawa Military Family Resource Center.
Hello everyone, CJ here again, and Alyssa. And today we're gonna discuss a hot topic, and the hot topic is co-regulation. So let's start by just having a conversation, Alyssa, about what is co-regulation?
Oh, co-regulation. I would kind of define it as the ability to stay calm when the other person is not.
Interesting, because as you know,
yes.
When you're living with somebody that is ill and injured, emotional regulation can get off the rails sometimes. And ill and injured soldiers or veterans can make that very personal when they're dysregulated. So it leaves the spouse to regulate their own emotions
and the other person's
by trying not to escalate matters. So over the past decade, I've assisted as best I could spouses that saw a lot of arguments and confrontations in the home, and it's hard to not engage. So what would be something you would tell one of your clients in order to try not to engage and escalate the conflict?
That's tricky, because I think it's really important that we're validating people's experience as well. In that if you are living with someone who's ill and injured, their emotions are going to naturally activate yours. And so that's something that's really important to understand, that you can feel your feelings, but to also have the understanding of why the other person is experiencing theirs, and also having some tools in your toolbox to maybe bring down the temperature a little bit within the household. That's kind of what I think, not so much saying, oh, you can't feel upset, especially like you said, if it's personal, but also understanding in that moment what is needed. What do we need to do to ensure that we can model that regulation for the other person?
Okay. And the other bit that I popped into my mind as you were speaking those wise words is you can't reason with somebody who's angry. So if you keep that in mind, that there's no amount of telling them to calm down, which will probably make things worse, or trying to prove a point or to win the argument, it's not going to lead to anything but aggravation of the ongoing conflict. So engaging will not resolve anything. Disengaging might. And I say might because sometimes when the anger choo-choo train is on the tracks, it's hard to de-escalate. But you can do your part as the spouse of an ill and injured soldier or veteran to disengage and not allow things to escalate. And I think most importantly is to pay attention to where your thoughts and emotions are, because you can't disengage if you are not realizing that you're being triggered and engaged. And then just there's so many techniques that we can assist with on a one-to-one basis to help you do that. But it's not a lost cause is what I'm trying to get at. So we can talk about safe phrases, which should be discussed prior to,
and not in the moment,
for sure. Communication, better communication when the anger is not present, and sometimes not saying anything is better than trying to convince, and is a lot more supportive. And I've seen that happen right in front of me in the office as well.
And broaching those topics when everyone's calm, even if you do have a moment of dysregulation, understanding that you can always go back to the table when everyone's calm and say, hey, let's talk about what happened. Maybe we can avoid that in the future. And here, like you mentioned, some preventative measures, safe phrases, even jotting things down that you want to say. Those are all things that people can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.